All right, here we are going to go ahead and graph this piecewise function. So the first thing that I'm going to look at is this transition point. When x is greater than or equal to 1, we follow this. And when x is less than or equal to 1, we follow this. So what I'm going to do is start by putting a little tick right there that represents the transition point, because that is x equals 1. What I'm going to do is follow this one, the 2x plus 1, when we're greater than or equal to 1. So that would be over here to the right of that. And then we're going to follow this one when we're less than or equal to 1. So I'm going to draw these in those colors. The reason I put the colors here and here was just so that you could see that this side of that, x equals 1, we're going to follow this one. And this side, we're going to follow that one. So what I'm going to do is do this 2x plus 1. Now, I do it with that y-intercept. The slope is 2. That's delta y, well, I should say rise over run. And then the 1 here is the intercept, the y-intercept. So that's where it hits the y-axis, so I would put a dot right here. And what I'm drawing right here is not the final function. It's kind of the work to get there. So, and then I'm going to go with a slope of 2. So I go up 2 over 1. I'm going to put a dot here, and then up 2 over 1, put a dot there, up 2 over 1, and put a dot there. So put a dot at all those spots. Now, if we were to just be graphing y equals 2x plus 1 and not with this piecewise part, then I would just draw this line all the way like that. But you can see that we only do it for x greater than or equal to 1. So here's x equal 1. This is x is bigger than or equal to 1. So what do? I start at this spot right here, and I follow that line out like that. And what I can do is erase the other work that I had so that it isn't confusing to make us think that the line will exist over there, that this f of x graph will exist over there. So now we're going to go ahead and go to red, and we are going to do this right here. Notice that's a parabola, x squared, that shifted up by 3. So it's a parabola, and it went up 3 units. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 to here. And notice it exists in this red space right here, right? So from here and then that way. This will be important, and we'll talk about it soon. So I'm going to go this direction. All of these x values that I'm highlighting here will have this graph right there. So that point that I put here is the starting point, and then I'm going to do my 1, 1 points. So I'm going to go over 1, up 1, and over 1, up 1. So I'll put a point here. I'm actually going to put an open circle here. The reason why I do an open circle is because of this right here. It says less than or equal, or it says less than 1. It doesn't include that 1. Less than is always going to give us an open circle. Less than or equal to is always going to give us a closed circle. And then if we were to flip them, same thing. Greater than or equal to would give us a closed circle. Greater than would give us an open circle. So that is why this open circle right here comes from that right there attached with this this graph that I'm doing in red. So the other point that I have to do is my 2, 4 point. So I'm going to go from this point here over 2, up 4 to there. So we're here. And now what I can do is connect all these like that. Oops. And that keeps going. And that combined red and blue graph would be the graph of f of x. So what I'll do is come in with black and go, whoop, put an open circle, go up, and then here I've got a closed circle. I'm going up and right like that. So that should be your overall graph at the end. We also want to answer these questions, so these should go pretty quick. Is it a function, yes or no? Yep, it passes the vertical line test. I could go across with a vertical line, and it would work the whole way. f of negative 2 right here, back 2, up to the point. If I can grab the value from the graph, I always will, or right here. So that would be, if I count up to there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 7. And then to find f of 6, well, you can see when we get out to 6, it's no longer on the graph, so I'm going to use these equations here. 6 is an x value that is bigger than 1, so I'm going to use this equation right here. So I do 2 times 6 plus 1, which gives me 12 plus 1, which is 13. And then for the last one, I got f of 1. And you can see here, I can go up and I can find that value on the graph. Do we take this value or do we take this value? I take this one because it's the closed circle. We don't take the open circle one. So what's that height? It's 3. So hopefully that helps you a little bit with doing these graphs. And you're starting to feel a little bit more confident.